I'm your co-host, Remi. Oh my God, Remi Parsons. We have the wedding planner of the century, Jason Rhee. Yay!
Thank you. I'm alive. I've been in the hospital for so long. Yeah. I lost 25 pounds, which, thank you. Jason for Nairi. Bring her out.
And then there's me, Jason to Alisha. Yeah. Jason to Alisha.
Would have been a different experience if you were a terrible person.
You're like, you get the ugly one.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Too late to stain.
6 foot arch. 6 foot arch.
The following podcast is a Dear Media production.
Pretty basic. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Pretty Basic. I'm your co-host, Remi. Oh my God, Remi Parsons. I'm still getting used to it. Remi Parsons.
I'm your other co-host, Alisha Marie.
Yay.
And I'm Jason Parsons. That's on the contract.
It actually sounds gorgeous.
Does it?
Has a good
Parsons
ring.
sounds good with a lot of names.
Parsons is a great last name.
It is a great last name.
It's not a very common last name.
No, Ollie likes to remind me that it is also the name of a very prestigious fashion school. So
Parsons.
I am a Nepo baby.
New York.
Yes.
But you guys, your very, very, very requested guest is back. He is a 2-time Pretty Basic co-host now. We have the wedding planner of the century, Jason Rhee. Yay!
Thank you. I'm alive. I'm alive.
Actually,
Yeah,
we have
I'm
to
alive.
talk about it.
No.
Wait, but before we go, before we start, I just want to make sure is the cameras okay with the shininess of my earrings?
Actually, I think we might
Is
need
it-
to.
I think
it
you're
too
just
shiny?
I think it's just a
My
beautiful little
new
orb.
diamond earrings. Is it too shiny? Thank you, bride.
They look
Blinded.
so good on you. They look so beautiful. They really are very shiny.
They're so
I think
nice.
you blew out the monitor.
Oh my God.
They're so nice.
You look
Literally,
beautiful.
I'm just like lighting dark hallways right now.
Well, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
I'm so sad that I missed the last episode that you were on. Thank you so much for coming on. I forget what I had going on, but you came in and I was just telling them this, everyone, but like, it's rare to like be 7 years into a podcast where you want to listen to your own podcast and your own voice. Like I'm so sick of my own voice.
With the way up season 1, we'd listen to every episode
single
20
one.
times. We'd laugh at our own jokes. We can't listen anymore.
No, so that was like the first episode in so long I listened to, beginning to end, and I was just like, this is so good. Like you need a podcast, first of all. Anytime you want to come on, you are more than
Please.
welcome.
I would love to.
But if you guys didn't see that, Jason came on and just talked about wedding planning to a T, tips, tricks. I know a lot of you are also in your bridal era right now, so go watch that if you haven't. But I'm excited to finally just be here.
I know. I'm so
felt like
excited
I
you're
was-
here.
Thank you so much. I felt like I was just talking. I'd be like laughing at jokes and be like, haha, you know that meme? You know the meme when it's like the person at the mall just like next to it? That was me listening to that episode. It was so good.
I know, not to put you on the spot here or like blow up your spot, but I
Yeah.
do know she's one of your favorites from the bridal party. And I told her all the time. Every time we would have a call and Alisha would be on, you would separately call me after and just say how much you love her.
I do.
Here's the
I
thing,
do.
just energetically, I felt that. I didn't even need to hear it.
Connection.
Yeah.
She's still at the mall actually laughing right now.
I was the presence.
No, we're so excited we're so excited you're here. So excited Alicia's here. And also so excited because the first episode, obviously, we couldn't go into the details of the wedding because A, not a lot had been planned. And also
That
B,
NDA.
at NDA that really just like stifles the
Right.
voice.
Yes.
But now, and we also wanted to keep things a secret.
Yes.
Now, obviously, everyone has seen everything. And I promise you guys, this is the last wedding related episode. To those of you who don't give a fuck, I apologize. We're on episode 4 in a row of talking about the wedding. This is the last one, but so excited to go into everything. And can I just say, I'm biased, but best wedding ever. All because of you.
I mean, thank you. It wasn't all because of me, because a lot of those, the whole programming was created by your brain.
Thank you.
And so, you know, you've been saying a lot this whole time about like how, you know, you've just been thanking me so much about me doing all this stuff. But like, you have to remember, it was a collaborative process. And the style of it, even like your outfits, all that stuff was all you, baby. So like, you need to own
And
that.
her.
Yes.
I have to give her flowers too for
I
that.
mean,
No.
and again, also everyone looks flawless. So like the casting of your bridal party
The
was
casting.
genius.
It was intensive. Actually, we
I
went through
mean,
4 rounds.
Yeah.
We had everyone
makes
pose
sense.
from every angle. Smile, smize,
That
serve.
makes sense.
And
you
all
know?
different lighting, natural, harsh,
I
all
love
the
it.
things.
No, but it was truly a pleasure and an honor. And I, outside of the health situation, which again, I've been joking about this, but I would have crawled out of the hospital to be there. So the fact that I got discharged literally 1 week before the day that we left.
It's actually insane. And I know I've gone on a full podcast tour talking on behalf of you. And I will say every time I did, I would text Jason after like, hi, is this okay that I talked about? And Jason would be like, please milk this for the both of us.
Yes.
I also said on the last episode how it's so funny that the conversation that you and I just had about the wedding as a whole, we have to give Cal his flowers as well too, because obviously he was incredible. And he was such a great partner. I know I'm sure you've worked with a lot of brides and grooms or couples that
Yes.
Are divorced now?
Groomzillas.
Or
Also, my ratio's pretty good. I don't have a lot of divorces.
Good. Honestly, I'm going to say that is because of you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I believe it.
I mean, it got a quote, my favorite movie ever, Bride Wars. Like
Yes.
it is, there's this one scene and I watched it recently and it like, I feel like it just really sunk in because obviously the wedding was coming up, but like it's that scene where it's like kind of the few weeks before the wedding or like the few months before the wedding and it's Kate Hudson and her guy, the guy from Reba, and then Anne Hathaway and Chris Pratt. And it's like that pivotal time that really I think is a make or break for a couple because it's a high stress situation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big choices to be made. It's a lot. But I believe that a huge testament obviously is to you, but it's been so funny because like behind the scenes, I said that like the conversation we just had, we've had like 100 times where it's like, well, that was you. And then that was you. No, but that was you. And then that was you, which has been so funny. But I did go on a podcast tour talking about your health and I need everyone here at Pretty Basic to hear directly from you everything, which Jason and I literally just had a meeting like 20 minutes before this. And there were things that I didn't even know happened that I know you said that you do this with all of your couples where after the wedding, you'll sit down and do like a post-mortem and we'll talk about all the things that happened that we were not privy to.
Yeah.
And there's so much that I wasn't aware of that I feel like if you feel comfortable, you can share with the audience.
And little did I know, I could have been post-mortem. It's actually kind of crazy because we called a post. Was that dark? Was that dark?
That was a really crazy segue, actually.
The way that it was, like, not, like, the way...
Sorry, I've been, like, stir crazy, like, in seating position and everywhere I go, so I just need to get out.
No, wow. Okay. Well, so maybe we should start with health stuff. Like, are you okay?
I am okay. And I just have to thank all of your community that have been so amazing, but also shout out to your wedding guests with the funniest BTS of the wedding with me scooting in a scooter. I didn't even know half the clips that these were like the one of
they were working
the martini glass and it's like such a beautiful shot and then you see me behind in the scooter.
Let's all say our favorite moment that we saw of you in the scooter. Mine was, I believe it was either the bouquet toss or I was doing my first dance with my dad. It was like something like more intimate and you are just, and someone memed you. It
was your bouquet toss.
It was a bouquet
and
toss,
can I explain what was going on?
Please.
Because again, I'm usually the one with you, but because I couldn't be with you, I had to like be in your orbit. And then I realized that I was in the photos.
No, I loved it.
So I was like, oh shit. So then I like was trying to reverse, but then there was like a chair behind me. And then I was able to like duck and then I like just zoomed out.
That one was my favorite. Or my family video with my mom, my dad, and my brother when they were leaving. And my brother goes, let's take a family video. Like we never have videos. So it's like a wide angle video of us going, we love you guys. And it's just Jason, beep, beep, beep in the back scooting out so fast.
I came to escort your parents to their car, and I was like trying to help and again, your parents were so sweet. Where I was like, "Let me hold that for you," and they were like, "No, I got it." And then it became like a 10-minute family photo shoot.
It was a lot.
So I was like, oh my God, where do I go?
Do you have a favorite Jason video or photo? Please share.
My favorite one was I was filming an outfit of the day and I was like, oh, I need my bouquet for like the final look. And the next thing, I like forgot I even said it. The next thing I know, I see Jason from literally half a mile away, bouquet in air,
ears
like
ringing.
just be like, coming in.
It was a prime it's a prime delivery. It was a same day prime
I
delivery.
refilmed it because I was like, oh, I need this.
Oh my God.
It was great. But I have to say, like, you were being such a sport about everything. Like everyone kept saying like, wow, like he's working it, he's owning it. Like obviously it's a horrible situation, but like no one was ever making fun of you. You were laughing like, so you just owned it and it made it so fun. And yeah, I mean, you killed it.
Took it like a champ.
I mean, I don't need any more character in my look. You know what I mean? I'm already a quirk. So I'm like, really? And then of course, like when I was renting the motorized scooter, I was like, do they have like a different color? And like I had emailed this poor guy like 25 emails about this scooter. And I was like, well, does it go on like big grass? Like, does it go on like deep grass? Like, can it go on decking?
Checking terrain.
Yeah, I was checking terrain.
Can't go down Remi's stairs to her Airbnb.
Oh my God. The stairs were wild, by the way. Your VRBO stairs were wild.
I sincerely apologize. I did not realize what we had signed up for.
Again, you had pre-booked it before I was in my whole health moment. So to go back to the health situation, I am okay. I'm healthy. I will find out in about 3 weeks if I need to have surgery again for a metal rod, which will make me a Terminator. Kind of cool. I feel it gives me a little edge. But I may not need to have it either because my bone is healing. But what I didn't really tell you is the day that I got admitted, I was like hours from dying, and I didn't even know because, again, like I have such minimal health experience. So like, you know, this whole time I've been shitting about our healthcare system and how shitty it is, but I have to be honest, like I'm so grateful that I have insurance. Like, and again, I would have never had insurance if it wasn't for that law that came in where we all needed to have insurance, because that's when I had to get insurance, but I would have never had it. And my bill will most likely be over $1 million. So the fact
How long
that
were
I
you
don't
in the
have to,
hospital?
I was in the hospital for like 2.5 weeks, but I was in the ICU for 5 days. And the ICU, I think, is like $30K a day.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So then the first day I went in, I was like kind of, and again, I went in just thinking that I had like some pain here. I didn't know that I was like full of pneumonia in my chest. My whole lung was cloudy. I had a blood clot.
Oh my God.
And I had sepsis. And so
you did go into sepsis.
I was into sepsis.
Oh, I didn't know you actually went in. Oh my God.
I mean, I just had to do all of it. I was like, check, give it all to me.
You're such a
I know, just
overachiever.
No.
My God.
But the whole time I was, and of course the first set of doctors were so hot. And
You're like literally in a diaper, basically.
Disheveled. I looked
Damn.
disheveled. And then again, I think I had like 15 doctors throughout my whole thing because every part of my body was affected by the infection.
But and we also didn't know what it was at that time, correct?
And they didn't know. They couldn't figure out what it was. They thought I had a fracture in my femur, but it was actually a MRSA infection. Which I didn't even know what MRSA was prior to this experience. But yeah, so it was eating my bone, and that's why there was a fracture, but they didn't know that. And so basically I had been marinating at home for like a week and a half in my MRSA.
And do you know how that you even got the MRSA?
No, so they say that like it's pretty common with children, and like you can get it from like pools, you can get it from like gyms. And again, MRSA apparently lives on our skin. Like it's kind of everywhere, but it's really, I know, I'm like, trust me, like literally I'm like, I will never probably hook up with a boy again. I'm like, don't. But let's be real. That's a lie. DM me. DM me my scooter. But apparently it's like lives on our skin, and it's really hard for it to get in. But once it's in, it's a really sticky bacteria. And so basically it just sticks on everything. And so I think I'd had it for so long that like it got into my bloodstream, and they were afraid that it was going to go to my heart, which was very close to, but yeah, so I had sepsis, I had blood clot, and then a few days into testing, they were able to figure that out. And again, I really truly believe that if I wasn't at UCLA, they wouldn't have been able to treat me the same way. And I was so grateful that I was in that hospital. And again, that's a privilege for me to have insurance, to be in a good, healthcare situation. So I feel very grateful about that. And one thing I also didn't know is that the whole time they give you like meals, every like 3 meals a day or whatever. And I thought like you had to pay. So I was like, well, this is a place I can save. So I was like trying not to get crazy on them. And then I found out it's included.
I mean, it better be fucking included.
It's actually like they like course it out. So it's very strict.
I love
where like
the TikToks.
You can't get too many things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can get like a meal and a dessert. But like, some days I was like,
it's not a buffet.
No, but I want tapas style. So I'm like, like
I love tapas style too.
I love tapas style.
I just want a bite of everything.
Yeah, but then like when you're at a cheesecake, it's not tapas style anymore. It's just gluttonous.
And then if luckily my friends will let me take a bite of everything, but God forbid.
You know what I call that? A crossover.
Oh, I do.
It's like when you want it. It's when you order something with a friend and you do. Yes.
It's like, hey, I want to do
crossover.
tacos and I'll do.
Oh my God, we need to do a crossover. Okay. But so I'm healthy, I'm fine. But yeah, and of course, like I've had really bad client experiences with couples in situations that were not as serious, where like, again, like nothing to this severity. And I have to be very, very vocal about this is, Remi, you were so gracious and kind. And I know behind the scenes, you were probably freaking the fuck out. And I'm sure, Alisha, you were all the supported community that you have. Like, I'm sure everybody was there for you. But thank you so much for being so gracious and kind. You and Cal were so kind to me. You brought me that amazing skincare set, which also I need some tips because I don't do skincare. And
Call her. She can help
I'm
you.
so overwhelmed by it. There was so much stuff. But you just like healed so much of that. Aww. And then again, like, there's this like inside joke with the whole hospital and my friends, because every day doctors would come in and they would be like, hi, I'm Dr. So-and-so from like, you know, the arthritis. Like they were just like all parts of my body they were testing. And so every time after they would like ramble on about whatever situation, they'd be like, do you have any questions? And I'd be like, yeah, so June 11th, I'm leaving. So if you can just
I'm out
let
of
me.
office,
Yeah,
actually.
so I'm actually departing here June 11th. So if you can just let me know, like if you want to do the surgery before the 11th, but I literally, and every doctor started so all the nurses knew, and so everyone kind of knew.
You let it be known.
Yeah, and also my friends had given me so many flowers, so I had like a floral department behind me. Aww. And so everybody was like already aware of the wedding planner with a lot of flowers. Yeah. And so every day, literally, I would just be like, well, June 11th. And what's crazy is literally I got discharged the Wednesday before, and then I left the next Wednesday for your wedding.
Wow.
Insane.
It worked out perfectly because it also gave me a few days to acclimate outside of being in the hospital, because I'd been in the hospital for so long. Yeah. I lost 25 pounds, which, I mean, thank you. Thank you. I didn't need to do Ozempic. Thank you.
You're rationing all your food.
I mean, literally, yeah, they portioned it out for me, which also sadly on the second to last day, I think I found out they had a bomb chocolate cake.
Oh.
So it's a decadent, delicious, and I wish I had ordered it sooner, but then I wouldn't have lost 25 pounds. But I lost 25 pounds.
I want to get into the more emotional stuff after, but what's the best thing you ate in the hospital?
I mean, my appetite wasn't very good because I had so many IVs in me. I think I had 6, 3 here and 3 here. Because I also have like really like skinny veins.
Me too.
Yeah, so they had to like bring in like the ultrasound people to do my veins, because my veins keep moving when they would prick me, but they would still prick me. Yeah, so then I had to do like the ultrasound pricking, and then so I had like 3 IVs here, 3, and they were just pumping me with so many chemicals because again I had so much infection that they had to deal with. Insane. But also the testing of like, you know, going floor to floor. And then what I don't know if a lot of people know, if they haven't spent time in a hospital, is the beds are terrible. Hospital beds are terrible. And I don't know if it's made that way so that people can leave quicker. Oh. But the hospital beds, I was having spasms in my back.
It must be something of like a harder, because I'm assuming it feels like almost like a table.
Yeah,
right?
but they also have these like pumps that like inflate and deflate, so it kind of like help. It's for people that are bedridden where they can't get bed sores. It's actually for bed sores. Yeah. But I was dying. So like outside of the pain in the leg and like all this testing we were doing, I was also miserable because I couldn't move. And then again I would get spasms because all I wanted to do was like stretch and walk around, and I couldn't at the time. Yeah. But you know, again, testament to you were so gracious and kind. And then again, huge shout out to my team, because they were in the hospital every day, like, you know, opening emails and like helping me go through stuff. And then I did my first floral mock-up meeting via FaceTime with you at the actual rental place with the flowers. And I was so sad. Aww. But I think, I don't know if I had the shirt on, but I ordered a shirt from my nurse. They brought me a white t-shirt because I want to at least look a little bit different for the mock-up. But like, it was so sad because I like literally, and I had like food delivered to the rental place. I had like Portos and stuff because I was like, I can't even be there. And I'm like,
I've said this to you so many times, like throughout the process, because every time we get on the phone, you would be apologizing, and Cal and I both were like, it's not like you woke up and chose to die. Like, I know. You didn't choose to get a leg infection. Like, this shit happens, and it's understandable, and you took it like a champ, and your team was incredible, and there's literally nothing to apologize for.
Thank you. I mean, but aside from all of that, it still impacts you, because again, like what I think a lot of wedding couples and people that are planning right now, I always say this, it's like, it is a stressful process with resources, without resources, having big budgets, having small budgets, it's always going to be stressful. And then having the dynamics that you have to deal with just your friends and family outside of planning, and like all the different things. And again, you're like emotionally preparing to also be with this person forever. So like, those are all things that I think about in those situations. So I just felt like it was more so, out of all the things that we're dealing with, I can't believe like this is, and again, for me, this has been the one wedding that we had been waiting for all year. And so I was just like, flabbergasted by the fact that I was even in this situation. But there was not one part of me that did not believe I was going to not be at your wedding, which is why when you would ask my team, like, okay, well, what if, they were like, no, he's going to be there.
Yeah.
And even though I think some of my friends didn't really think I was going to actually be able to do it, I truly would have crawled out of the hospital. I would have left. And again,
I would have sent you back to the hospital.
I know, but I would have found, I mean, even when I had like the IV, like thing connected to me, I would have been wobbling around. But I told you this in one of our meetings prior to the wedding. My fear was I didn't want to also be this like visual representation of like sickness on your wedding day. So that was like something that I kept clocking too, where I was like, the last thing I want is you spend all this money to do an amazing wedding with beautiful photos. Everyone is looking stunning. And then all of a sudden you have this like, you know, this visual representation of sickness.
I don't care about that.
And it's one thing if I'm like family or, you know what I mean? But as like the person that was like planning it, that was one that kept coming to my head where I was like, I don't want to like ruin your first look by being like, you know, and again, like when you do your first look, I was so sad because I normally see it from, I'm like hiding and seeing it.
Get up the stairs.
I couldn't get up the stairs in my scooter. So I was down at the fountain, just like listening and hoping. And then when you guys were doing the portraits with the girls, I always loved to see that too. And you guys did it up there and I was like, I can't see it.
I didn't know. There's so much that I didn't know. And like from mine and Cal's perspective, I think how it went for us was you got rolled out of the hotel during my bachelorette, and I told you to come party with us, and you're like, I'm working, and then
I didn't tell you at the time that
you
I was.
didn't tell me anything.
So yeah, because so I was also bummed because we were both in Vegas at the same time.
Yeah.
And then when I was watching all the Magic Mike content roll out, I was so
I rewatch it daily.
sad. But I was in. Oh, you watch it daily? Me too, girl. Me too. It's me too. It's But I literally was. I had 3 days of pain, so I didn't even go to the. I'd been there for clients and we were going to do I was there for a conference. I didn't even go. I was in bed for 2 days without pain pills. And at the time I thought I just had like a leg pain.
Yeah.
And so that was before I even got like any of the testing to find out that there was a fracture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then that's why I couldn't come see you because I also wanted to bring you like a batch gift.
Oh my God,
and
no.
I typically will send it to your hotel or whatever, but I didn't have that information. So I was like, oh, I can at least see you. But then I was in my bed.
Well, at that time we thought it was also just a pulled muscle because you posted the video of you getting wheeled out, and I was like, are you okay? Do you need assistance? And you were like, no, I'm just going home now.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I didn't see you again for another couple weeks physically and like in person until we were at the catering tasting and you were on crutches. I walk in, he's on crutches, and I'm like, hello?
Yeah.
This was not mentioned at all. And he's like, it's okay. Like
just an accessory. Don't worry, girl.
Yes,
it's fine.
honestly, like you were just like, oh, it's just a pulled muscle. It's so weird. Only like soccer players pull this muscle. And we were like, hot.
Yeah,
Love
I know.
for you.
So when they told me it was a femur fracture, they were like, this is like an injury that only athletes or soccer players get. And I was like,
You're like, I didn't do anything. I swear. They're like,
no, the
what'd you
doctor
do?
was like, but you're not an athlete. And I was like,
Offended.
how dare you?
What constitutes an
I
athlete?
know.
I'm sorry.
I know. I think that scooter, it could be an athletic.
I
athletic
agree.
thing.
I saw how fast everybody saw you
I
going
wanted
around
to go
quick.
faster though. It needed. There was like it was a turtle and then a rabbit, and that's how you. There should have been like
actually it was?
Yeah, it was like
That's
a little
funny.
icon, and it needed like a cheetah. I want it to be. I
We need
wish
to like go in and
eagle.
break it and
I
like
wish I could,
override. Yeah,
I wish I
yeah.
could fly.
It literally like propeller comes out.
Yeah, it was also, I was thinking about it, like, thank gosh we didn't pick a venue that didn't have the at least ability for me to drive around in a golf cart. Or because can you imagine if you'd picked like a historical estate where there was like just like planters everywhere?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I was thinking about, that's the stuff that I was like freaking out about.
Yeah.
And then so prior to us departing for the wedding, I brought my friend Stephanie in to just be my
Love
like
her. Hi, Stephanie.
we call
So
we call her
sweet.
baby driver because she was supposed to be my driver the whole time. And then we had brought in, Jessica to the team, and
So
she was
amazing.
phenomenal. And again, like, Crystal, Jamie, Dana, like my entire team, everybody just went into overdrive, I think, when I was in the hospital, which
Yeah.
I think what we didn't share with you at the time was that, like, I think they were dealing with their own emotional things because we didn't really even know how serious it was until we found out, that, oh, okay. And then when the vitals thing happened and they're like, oh, he's not well. But like, it was, and again, what's so crazy is I think it was actually better for me to not think about it because I was so focused on June 11th.
They say you can mentally really your brain can actually help heal you when you actually are like I need to get better.
I believe it.
They say that. So
because-
it wouldn't shock me if you being so like, I will be there helped, you know?
Yeah, none of the doctors believed me either. They kind of always chuckled and laughed, but they, and so then I ended up.
Proved them wrong.
Yeah, and then I got discharged with that like little drain pump, which
Yeah.
thank God there was nothing draining in my wound because that would have just been even grosser. But it was just like an empty drain pump that I was carrying, and then I touched my Labubu on it that you gave
Yes,
me.
you did.
But so it was a lot. But I again, like, I just have to tell all of your viewers, like, you at no point made me feel like I needed to work. You at no point made me feel like my health wasn't a priority. So I really appreciate that. And it like it truly healed me with so many traumatic experiences I had with previous clients that didn't like respect my boundaries or even, and again, this situation was so random because in 18 years, I've never missed a wedding.
Yeah.
I've never had a situation like this where I couldn't be at a mock-up. It was just such a freak accident.
I just like can't commend you enough for even throughout the most traumatic thing that you've ever gone through,
Yeah.
still showing up when Cal and I were like, do not come, do not
Yeah.
call, stay, like focus on you. I was
Yeah.
like, your health is the priority. And yet we would I showed up to the design meeting. I showed up to the design meeting and I'm just like talking to everyone. All of a sudden I hear this voice in the corner. I'm like, Jason? He's on an iPad in the corner. I was like, wait, what?
I
And
know.
he's in his hospital bed. Like even the day, and like just from our point of view, and like it's like you went out of your way to not freak us out, which we really
Yeah.
appreciate. And I just kept being like, you kept showing up when you didn't have to. And I wasn't expecting you to. And
thank you.
Honestly, if you gave me the choice, I wouldn't have let you.
Yeah.
But like FaceTiming into appointments, like still like sending the pastries and things.
Even
like
the
you didn't
NARS
need to
call,
do.
the first NARS beauty call, which amazing team. I was off camera, but right before we were panicking about how to make the beeping stop on the machines. So I literally was like,
You're like, there's no voice isolation.
yeah,
on this?
I was like, what is going on with this? Like, why? And then we were like testing the AirPod to see like if it picked up or not. So literally I had one of the nurses just turn it off for me because it was just my IV, like it was like an IV thing.
You're like,
I'm like, thank you, NARS.
you're like, you can turn the oxygen off. Actually, it's okay. I can hold my breath for 30 minutes.
But that's, and again, I think.
yourself.
No, literally. I know, but I, I wanted to be available for any questions.
No, it was like you went to the hospital and like from what we didn't know, all I knew was you were like, hey, I'm not feeling well. I'm going to go. And I was like, okay. And we had a meeting scheduled. And so I was like, oh, I'll just take it with his assistant. It's not a big
Yeah.
deal at all. And I'm fully expecting to get on this Zoom with me, Cal, and your assistant. And we get on. Is she considered your assistant? Would you say?
Yeah, she's my partner assistant. Yeah.
Partner, Crystal, shout
Yeah,
out.
Crystal,
I'm fully
amazing.
expecting to get on a call with Crystal, and all of a sudden we're like talking, boop, another screen comes on. It's Jason in a hospital bed. And I was like, what are you doing here? I actually don't want you to be on this call. Like, please. And then he would have to keep like leaving because he's like, I got to go get a CT scan. Hold on, guys. I'll be back. And we're like, okay, so back to the florals. Like, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
Like, you did not need to do all of that. It's so appreciated. You did not need to do that.
Thank you, of course. But I mean, again, it was because I wanted to, and I think, and it was so important because again, like, it's my career. You guys understand. It's like also with your business. It's a situation where again, I was a solopreneur for so long. So we were talking about this before, but
Yeah.
it's like I've never had to activate a succession plan. I've never had to like have a what if scenario. So that's something that's changing as we're kind of creating that as I hit my 40th birthday. I'm like, is that also a sign of what to expect in my 40s? But I think I'm just a believer that everything happens for a reason. And I've been also joking because my scar is like, I don't know if you may have to cut this out, but like there's a scar and it's like where essentially like my like, my penis is like next to my penis. And of course the scar's so much longer.
that's
so now
not
I'm
fair.
like so upset because now I'm like, it's essentially a ruler.
It's showing.
That's like
Yeah.
scarred into my thigh to then just remind people, oh, this is longer than.
You know what? We have girls who can do like laser therapy, and
Okay,
we'll make
we're gonna
it
have to look into
shorter
it
if
because-
anything. So then that way
and again,
it
it's
looks-
not small. Okay, Justin, it's not small.
No, it's perspective. It's
If you
it's an
look up the-
optical
It's
an
illusion.
optical
If you look up all the
illusion.
Asians, apparently cranes are like one of the top, okay? Thank you. But no, but literally I'm like, okay, so I have this like basic everyday reminder.
Every day.
Everyday reminder of just like, oh, you're not tall enough to ride this ride.
To ride this ride.
But I believe everything happens for a reason. So for me, I'm just so,
New tattoo?
yeah, I want to do a whole
One-
floral thigh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Was
Remi's florals from the wedding.
An 11-foot arch, perhaps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Along, yes, going this way.
Yeah, it's 11 feet.
It was.
Thank you.
Not 12, not 10.
Oh my God.
But I mean, and again, I'm just so happy with what we pulled off. I'm like so proud of the work that we did together. And I'm so proud of how many people have resonated with the work that we did, and just like the fun that you had. That was like so important to you guys. And also, again, like throughout the whole planning process, Remi and Cal were so focused on giving this experience to their friends. And I'm so glad we were able to do that, you know? And the toasts, like the toast that you did was so good. Like everything was just so curated perfectly, where honestly, like for us too, on the operational side, yeah, there were like things that we had to fix that you guys may not know, but like in terms of programming and stuff, we had a beautiful day.
Yeah.
We got very, very blessed. And the weather.
Everything.
We did bury a hot dog.
I saw that.
It was
And
the
our
hot
friend
dog.
did pay
saw
a
that.
Etsy witch. So
I saw that.
Etsy witch?
yeah. Murph.
He did an Etsy
He
witch?
said that. I don't know if it's true, but he did
I hope
say
he
it.
did.
I think
Well,
he did.
The weather was fun. Everything went off without a hitch. Like I could not have imagined a more perfect day.
Yeah.
Dating in your 30s is wild. You think you've seen it all, and then suddenly someone asks you to co-star in their healing journey on a first date, and you're like, is this paradise or purgatory? Honestly, at this point, I would pay for someone to walk in like Jesse Palmer and tell people what to do. I don't know about you, but watching other people's love lives unravel under palm trees and with a margarita in hand, that is my kind of stress relief. And luckily for all of us, Bachelor in Paradise is back for its 10th season. And this year, the beach is officially open in Costa Rica. And yes, I will be watching with a full charcuterie board and commentary ready. This season looks so good. Jesse is back hosting, obviously, and Wells is still everyone's favorite bartender. But they're adding a whole new layer this time. Hannah Brown is joining as head of Paradise Relations, which is such a power move. I love that for her. She's going to be planning experiences for the couples, and honestly, I trust her with the vibes completely. It's going to be amazing. And here's the twist. Golden Bachelor and Bachelorette alums are crashing the beach. That means everyone is shooting their shot this season. And honestly, the outfits this season, already iconic. Give me all the cutout dresses, shirtless confessionals, and oversized sunglasses during serious conversations. So whether you're in it for the love, the tears, or just the pure secondhand embarrassment, this season of Bachelor in Paradise is bringing the messy in the best way. Grab your snacks, text the group chat, and get ready to yell at your TV every single week. Catch new episodes of Bachelor in Paradise Mondays at 8/7 Central on ABC. And stream the next day on Hulu. You do not want to miss this.
You know that moment when your to-do list is finally done and you sit back like, wait, why does this feel like a treat yourself kind of night? That's my cue to grab a Happy Thursday. It's my go-to when I want something refreshing that doesn't make me feel sluggish. I love that it's non-carbonated. It's super smooth and only 4.4% ABV. It doesn't feel like a typical canned drink. It's chill, easy to sip, and kind of sets the vibe without it being too much. I cracked open a mango passion fruit the other day and just sat on the couch like, okay, this feels like self-care. The black cherry is a crowd favorite in my house. You guys know I love anything cherry flavored. It's juicy, but not too sweet, a little tart, and it just hits in the best way. The variety pack is so perfect too. It makes it easy to match whatever mood I'm in. There's pineapple starfruit when I want to feel tropical, like I'm sitting on a beach, strawberry when I want something classic and fruity, and mango passion fruit when I'm wanting something extra sweet and fruity and delicious for summer. And the fact that it's naturally flavored with no weird aftertaste is everything. It's clean, simple, and tastes good without all the extra stuff. You can actually drink it while doing things, not just when you're completely checked out for the day. I've been keeping them stocked in my fridge when I'm catching up with friends, editing all evening, or just laying out, listening to music, just spending time with Cal. Happy Thursday fits into whatever is happening. It's not about needing a big event or celebration. It just makes everyday moments feel like something worth noticing. It's that simple pleasure. So whether you're planning something big, winding down from a long day, or just need a reset moment, Happy Thursday is it. Head to happythursday.com/prettybasic to find one near you. That's drinkhappythursday.com/prettybasic.
Celebrate responsibly, non-carbonated, naturally flavored with other natural flavors. 21 plus contains alcohol. 2024 Molson Coors Beverage Co. Milwaukee, Wisconsin beer.
I want to get more into the conversation about that you just mentioned because Alisha and I can resonate with that, and I feel like a lot of people can too. And then we'll get into the wedding of everything. But I was never going to call you and stress you about anything wedding related because it came secondary to everything else going on. But I did tell you I did call your assistant a couple times, and I was like, "Hi." So like, yes, what is the plan if he cannot make it? Like worst case scenario, and you were telling me this beforehand about how now you said that moving forward, or you've struggled with the idea and the action of delegation.
Delegation. Oh my God. Because again, like it's never been needed.
Yeah.
But also for 18 years, I've been the lead on everything.
Yeah.
So like I'm there in every meeting. I'm there from load in to load out. Even that too, like when we're talking about from load in to load out, we're there from 8 a.m. till 3 a.m. So when you're thinking about like the amount of time, and so for me too, like we had scheduled it, but again, I still wanted to be there to the very end because it's just what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But those are things that I think as I get into my 40s, I don't have the same, sustainability anymore too, where those are the things that are coming up in my mind too, where I'm like, I'm 10 years older than you. So it's like, as I get into my 40s, I'm like, oh my God, like those are things I keep thinking about.
Can you mention what your friend wrote in the card about 20s
Oh
and
my
30s?
God, like the 20s and 30s, she mentioned, oh God, and I wish I knew the person. It's actually like a famous quote, but in your 20s and 30s, you do things out of survival. And in the next chapter of your life, what she said that she knew was coming for me is to let go and shed those things that you did through that no longer serve you.
Yeah.
And because again, we're not really the same person we were in our 20s and 30s.
And you've worked so hard for almost 2 decades. And then you do come to a point of like, okay, well, for what? Just for it to all be gone? Or like, maybe now you can mentor more people and like the gifts that you can even show them of what you've learned. Like that might even be more fulfilling than doing an extra wedding a year.
So
you know what
true.
I mean?
And even the accessibility thing is a new factor that like I want to prioritize having accessibility for all people in our events, because it's a luxury to have accessibility now.
Yeah, and you witnessed firsthand.
And now I'm living through that experience where I'm a temporary person in that community where I have the privilege to not be in a wheelchair forever.
Yeah.
But the amount of limitations that has in so many places is actually pretty surprising, and even the fact that in restaurants now, if I have a reservation, I'm calling ahead to make sure that like, oh, can I bring in a wheelchair?
Even on Yelp, like I've always seen accessibility if restaurants are accessible or not, but I've never had to look at it.
Yeah. Even my own office, we have accessibility in the office, but if you want to use the restroom, there's a step. And so I bought a ramp. The perspective that I learned also just learning about accessibility and just making sure that we prioritize that in the programming that we do with events is something that I like will forever be like focused on, is making sure that we have accessibility available.
Yeah. Even simply asking like venues helps. Even if you can't physically like reconstruct and demolish and like rebuild things, at least asking puts it on their radar that it's something important. You know?
I think also it's a good question for you to ask at the top when you do your first initial meetings, like how many guests do you think might need assistance? Because then that's something you could take into consideration when doing venue searching.
1,000%. So it's been a big life shift, but I think I'm just so incredibly proud of us and the fact that we killed it.
It was beyond my wildest dreams.
Yeah.
Cal and I were so happy. Actually, something we talked about on the last episode, and I was trying to, my brain is still mush, but it's finally like coming back now. But like the last week, we were just like laying on the couch the whole week essentially and just like rewatching all of the content. But one thing I said to any bride or groom listening, like the content or just the capturing of content, whether it be photographer, videographer, if you're a content creator, or even if you're not, and you want like a socials or a vertical person, like that has been so much fun because it was such a haze. And I always reference how you told us in the beginning that you are working on that day, whether you believe it or not, like, and you alleviated so much for us, but it's still, you are working.
It's emotional work, and it's literally physical work because you are hitting every program. And again, you had programming after programming. And I remember you even telling me, and I'm so happy you did when you said you needed to pause. You said, I need a moment. And I was like, and you said it again, so kind. And you've been just so kind through the whole thing. But even in that moment where I knew that you were feeling exhausted by the moment.
I was so overwhelmed.
You were so overwhelmed. And again, it's overwhelming because it's this whole new experience while you're just trying to also be present for it.
Yes, that honestly, I think the thing that I grappled with most was the idea of being present, because if I asked any bride, or a lot of brides would just text me and be like, just so you know, like little tip of advice, it was be present, be present, be present. I was like, the whole day I kept kicking myself because I was like, I'm not being present. I'm not being present. Like everybody says, this is the best day of your life. Oh my God, like I'm not being present. Is this the best day of my life? Like I grapple with that so much. Looking back now and like having the content to look back on, whether I'm posting it or not, I don't remember anything because not that I was drunk, because I had a drink. I just like was so overwhelmed by how much was going on. And there's only so many hours in the day. There's only so many minutes in the day.
Yeah.
And we were like, go, 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 go.
Well, and then also remember, like towards the very end, remember when we talked about the sparkler moment?
Yes.
And I was like, usually when the cake cutting happens and the final toasts are done, that's when you get to clock out. That's when you get to breathe. But you had a surprise for Cal.
Yeah.
You had the night market reveal.
Yeah.
So you still were going towards almost the very end.
Yeah.
Where you didn't really get that moment of being like, oh, I can finally like not think about what's next. And so that's why for me, I was always like trying to get you to the end.
Yeah.
So you can actually have fun.
Yeah.
And that was really the after party.
I will say I had fun in every step of the way. Looking back,
Yeah.
I will be so honest, throughout the process, I was so overwhelmed the entire day. And I felt so bad because I kept looking at her. I was like, am I being a bitch? Am I being a bitch? I was like, am I being mean to people? Like, that's the last thing I
so
want.
nice.
I was like, I've never been overwhelmed in that way. And I think it's just so much of like, oh my God, this has been such a time investment. This has been such a financial investment. This is supposed to be the best day of my life. Like, everyone says it's the best day of your life. Like, I'm not being present. I'm not going to remember this.
Oh,
There was just
pressure.
like so many things going through my brain. Looking back, best day of my life. Like, and Cal and I kept talking throughout the whole night too, because I kept looking at Cal or looking at her being like, I need to lock in. But she even was like, you can't like force yourself to lock in. Like, it needs to happen. I don't think I ever did actually quote unquote lock in, but it was something I wanted to say to like future brides or grooms listening. That is like, it will be amazing no matter what. But I just wish that I had known going into it, like how overwhelming it was going to be.
Yeah.
Truly. I just didn't know.
Yeah. And again, like we can preface it and warn you the whole time, but it's also you're hosting. So, it's like when you throw a birthday party, it's like you can never really enjoy it because you're like hosting, you're checking in with people. And you, of course, are somebody who loves hospitality and you're a giver. So like even the gift giving that you were doing on the day of your wedding was such a moment. But again, it's you again showing up for other people, which is something that again, like it's just been so fascinating.
Even
to see.
you were like, you were getting ready to change into like your lingerie and you're like, make the gift for my mom. We have to go do that. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't imagine your brain right now. Like there's so much that your average bride, I would say,
1,000%.
wouldn't even have
Is
to
that
deal
not
with.
normal to give gifts? I thought that was like kind of customary.
Not like how she does.
Not like the Oprah level that you
I
were.
thought that was normal. I was like, I almost felt like.
I wish, girl. But I mean, no.
I will say, like, I love gift giving, but there also was like the pressure leading up to it of like, oh my God, well, if I get this for my dad, I have to get this for my brother, and like, oh, I'll have to make sure I get this, and I don't want this person to feel left out. So like, there was a lot of that going on where I just didn't want to miss a mark, and not that I felt like I needed to provide gifts for everyone, but also part of it did feel a little customary.
Yeah.
But when we were talking about it, Alisha was like, that's not normal, and I was like, I thought it was like super normal to do that.
I think it's normal with specific people, but not to the. I mean, at that point, you were Oprahing. You were like, everyone gets one, and you were like,
Also, that's normal to you, so I get how that felt normal.
Yeah. Like, I will say, I understand maybe the level of gifts was not normal.
even the crane machine.
But,
okay, can we just
have to talk about the crane machine.
For years, I am so obsessed
die.
with crane machines. Since I was a child, I have been a crane machine fanatic. When you sent me the text that you bought this crane machine, I didn't even care about the logistics of how we're going to get it there, because that is the logistics.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm in.
And we were like
game.
down to the wire. It was all, we filmed the Maid of Honor battle. On the way home, I called Jason. You were in the hospital. I was like, hi, just know I'm handling this, and you can tell me no, and I won't do it.
Yeah.
But if I were to acquire a crane machine, could we have it there? And he was like, yes, absolutely. Let's do it.
I will never forget the text to Ollie and I. Guys, I'm going to have a crane machine at the wedding. The wedding you're having in 2 days? I was like, okay.
Yeah. Well,
That
that question of asking was then followed up with a video of you guys getting the actual crane machine. So it was like already there,
Like, so it's actually in the garage as we speak. Is it okay?
And it can't return it, but let me know.
Yeah, let me know. There's no return policy. I will say, I was like, I will handle it. Don't worry. And it was so funny though, because you were so on board immediately.
And again,
then-
if I could leave the hospital, that's the thing that I
day
would have.
He was
I
actually, he called me. He was like, I wish I was there for the delivery. I was like, it's just a delivery.
You're like, can you
Because-
film it for me?
No, and so
Oh, I
I
FaceTimed
literally had her film her and Cal going through it and playing with it, and the whole time I think I was like, beep beep beep, and I was just like,
Me-
oh, I wish I was there.
There's times they'll go to Vegas, and I'm like, can you just FaceTime me when you're on the slots?
Oh, I do.
Just
I
like,
love-
I just,
She's like, I'll Venmo you $20.
I'll literally Venmo
max
you
bet.
just to do it for
I
me.
can do slots for hours.
No, we're gonna
Should
do
we
a
go to-
Vegas
we need to
trip.
go to
We're gonna
Vegas.
do a Vegas trip. It's gonna happen.
Yes.
And I think truly, like, one of my favorite standout moments from the entire experience was we were doing our like last meeting. It was like the Tuesday before we left on the Wednesday. It was like a couple days before, and I had told you I'm doing this crane machine, but don't worry, I'm handling it. Like, you won't have to worry about a single thing. I'm just letting you know it's happening, so you're aware when you arrive, there's a crane machine there. And that was all I told you. We do this like meeting, maybe like a couple days after it arrived. And Jason goes, well, by the way, like, I know it's really late, but like, is there any way that we could like maybe get like a logo or something? And I went, obviously it's already handled. I already have the vinyl and the logos have been made and delivered from Etsy that I ordered before I even got the crane machine. The scream he let out will stay in my mind
all that was
forever.
Cycling in my brain. It was, I was like,
I don't want it to look like it is random. Like,
yeah, but also like it's what we would have done if I had the freedom to do it.
Yeah.
And so the whole time I was like, God, I just wish that I could like get out of here and get some decals.
You like can't.
You're because I can't measure the device and I can't, you know. And those
your
are
body's twitching from like I need to just get a
I'm just
sticker or like
I'm
something.
tapping it, and I'm like,
But I was like already handled, and he shrieked, and it like that to me in that moment really solidified like how perfect we were together throughout the entire experience.
I mean, I was so connected to you. Everything that you came up with, and again, like you really didn't have like outlandish, crazy things other than the fact that you just had so much programming.
Yeah.
And like that was our fear was that like we didn't want you to feel like you were working the whole time.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad you did, because also the reaction from the guests at each and every phase was so exciting for us to see.
I just have Jesse Tam running, screaming in my head to the claw machine.
I
That's a core memory.
I was like, I think he might have been the star guest of the entire experience for how much he like outwardly appreciated everything.
But my team are still not well with the merch, of it all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys ever seen zombie movies where there's like a fresh brain and then people, the way that the guests were all, they were not even getting it where like, cause you know, Jamie, bless her heart, spent 2 days like merching and design.
Can I say,
right? Like
I
retail.
was wowed. I truly like, I knew there would be merch there. I just pictured it more like it was a store. It was
that was all we wanted.
Store.
That was all we wanted. And again, we got some like little like inspo images from Remi, and she was very much like merch is important, and she like kind of like tour guided me into the thing. So I was like, this is a priority
you guys went
moment.
above and beyond. Even the neon signs, like so perfect.
Insane.
Which
so
also
sweet.
like shout out to my neon vendor Bright Light, but I knew that I needed to get you a gift of some sort, and I knew that we needed the Parsons Polo Club logo moment.
Insane.
I'm so glad that we did that.
It's just so special, and that was very sweet of you.
And then the open side and the retail thing, like we just knew that we needed to make merch a moment because it's also you and you. So then like, but the way that people had demolished they didn't just take it from the displays. They took it from the mannequin that we had. There was a mannequin that was fully 180'd. There was like hotel slippers that were like taped on the display. Those were ripped off. Like people,
there was a whole basket. People, we have extras.
Their mind. People, I think in the moment, people were so overly stimulated that everybody was just grabbing something.
It felt like a complete carnival.
Yeah,
like boom, go.
And I will say that might have been an oversight on our behalf to put it at the time of the night where everyone is the drunkest. Like that. And I do sincerely apologize to Jamie and to Crystal. I told Tommy that I was like, I'm actually kind of embarrassed. I was like, and I keep saying this, but
it's
like,
nothing to be embarrassed. We love it.
No one loves free stuff more than Korean people.
Thank you.
And influencers.
Thank you.
Let's be so honest.
I mean, if I could have got my scooter in there, you better believe I would have taken
You just ran
all the
run
things.
over-
Yeah,
run over me, I don't care.
I said, Tommy said he went back like behind the room to change into the sweatshirt, and he walks back and Crystal's deep breathing. I was like,
they were trampled.
I feel so bad.
Jamie and Crystal were trampled. But
I feel
again,
so bad.
it's so fun for us because like, you know, and then again for Jamie and Crystal, their priority is to make it pretty for everybody.
Yeah.
So as soon as it's gone,
just don't wanna look
they want to
messy,
replenish.
yeah.
They want to design it back into, you know, but
no, it was a lost cause, and I would have told them that.
And have tickets that people have to exchange, I wouldn't want to change it for anything.
No.
I think it was iconic.
I think that was what we wanted. And that's why we had that pathway where, again, I don't know if you saw any of my content, but my scooter died. While you guys were doing the surprise reveal, like, and then the sax person,
it's you and me walking over to the dance floor with the Carly Rae Jepsen.
My scooter died at the entrance of the walk path while we had to let the first shuttle start leaving the hill. So one of my team members, Krista, shout out to Krista, she was shoving my cart.
You should have told me I would have helped.
That's what I said.
It literally it just died,
and
so
it
then
locked,
and so I'm like, oh my god, and literally hoping that the guests are not coming while I'm in the middle of the walkway, and then it cuts to you guys.
People would have loved it. Let's be honest.
And it cuts to you guys like in the background, like dancing and like doing your. It's so funny. That clip is so funny. But I mean,
I'm gonna have everyone send any footage they have of you so you can make a compilation for your TikTok.
I would love it.
We
I
must.
would love it.
His
What
TikToks
it's
are
your sizzle
hilarious.
reel to promote your business.
Are you kidding?
Like this could be you. Like this could be your wedding.
Like an add-on
Yeah,
service.
the,
Like,
photo, the photo that
Planner and a
Chuck took
scooter?
when you're like this, that's the
so
website. Like
good. No, like, and I mean this and I've said this to you every single day. Like every guest was obsessed with you.
Oh my gosh.
Truly. Like you were just such a, like in such high spirits and so funny. Every clip of you on the blog, so fucking funny. So funny.
mean, again, shout out to, and I say this a lot, but your guests are always a reflection of the couple, and everybody was so kind and so excited. And I think that's what fuels people that are in the creative space and people that are on our side of it is we love to see the excitement. So when we're like switching that bar from a regular bar to the Sunday bar and the espresso martini bar, and we're seeing people just like hit that bar, we get so excited.
Yay.
That's like the stuff that really drives us. So like, again, like shout out to everybody. It was just an amazing experience.
I'm
for us
so
too.
glad people enjoyed those things. Murph came over last night and we were just debriefing, and I was like, he came up to me like actually like 20 times throughout the night and goes, I've been to a lot of weddings. They're 30 to be exact. Best wedding ever. He said that like throughout the night, and I was like, wow. And so when he came over, I was like, did you get a Sunday? He's like, I hit up every activation, which I was
That's so
excited
good.
to hear.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I was just like in and out. And I told Alisha, like, if I had one regret, it was I think, and it's kind of 2 in 1. It was like the third dress I regretted, not because I didn't like the look. It was that it took more time. I didn't take into account the changes, and also with being such a big venue and having to go up and down.
Yeah,
like
that's what we
took out
That's
time.
what we were freaking out about.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
And again, like we don't want to change or alter your vision.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find ways to make it quicker, which is why like there were moments where we would rush you.
Yeah.
And then there were moments where like I gave you the space, but even that moment when you went up to change.
Yeah.
And I was in
You
my
were like
golf.
5 minutes.
I was
5
in my golf
minutes,
cart and
yeah.
I was like, Jason for Nairi. Bring her out. Bring her out. Like
and then there's me, Jason to Alisha. Jason to Alisha. Shit. That was.
Did you hear that?
no.
I literally was like, Jason to Alisha. Jason to Alisha.
It's you in the back with Lana on the golf cart, espresso martini in one hand, the speaker in the other one. Hello?
I literally, I asked the driver, I was like,
Dario.
Love him. He was
Dario.
so great. But yeah, that was a funny moment.
Yeah.
So I'm sad
Which
you didn't hear
also
that.
you didn't know this, but Dar got into a car accident on Sunday.
No, he didn't.
When he was
What is
driving,
going on?
he was driving the truck and a car hit him.
Wait, I
No.
want to go into more of the stuff that we don't know.
Yeah.
Is there like, do you want to just like.
Okay. We lost our golf carts. The original golf cart vendor didn't give us golf carts. He only was able to get 3, and then the other 3 we lost.
What do you mean by lost?
Like because it was also what I don't know if we shared this yet, but like it was the busiest weekend in Santa Barbara.
Yeah,
Yes.
that
It
was our
the most
bad.
active. And then again, we didn't think that there was going to be protests. We didn't think that there was going to be all these extra factors. But I guess he's one of the, the venue's required vendors or whatever. And he just was very not good with communication, but he was the golf cart vendor of the property. And so we had 6 golf carts reserved. But it all worked out where like I'm also a big believer that like sometimes things happen and it's better is we had electric golf carts versus gas golf carts that we ended up finding. And then we ended up with that Power Ranger collection of golf carts. That was a backup plan. Oh, wow. That happened and that was activated on Thursday.
Oh my
while
God.
we were on site.
And so with specific venues, sometimes they have like specific vendors that you have to use, correct?
They'll usually call them preferred, or if they're required, then they're required. But, I think is one of her preferred. And again, like we love to work with preferred because there usually has
They've worked
price
there before,
adjustment
yeah.
or there's some sort of, and I
know
think
the
for us,
grounds.
it's familiarity where we know that they at least have worked here before because
Yeah.
again, a property like the property you picked was not an easy property. That's like an expert level property for anyone.
Really? Can you explain as to why? And I apologize.
No. And again, like remember when we were going through venues and we looked at,
Did you want to kill me when I said
honestly,
no to 85?
no, because I told you from the
Be
very
honest.
beginning, it's important for me for the venue because the venue makes it everything, which is why I think my only concern was that I know that you're getting stressed about planning.
Yeah.
And I was like, we can't really plan without the venue.
Yeah.
And so for me, I wanted to find the venue, but I also, just like you, wanted to find the gem that you loved. So when you sent me that one and it took me like 3 months to get a hold of them,
Yeah.
I was panicking where I was like, what if this venue doesn't happen?
Yeah.
But once we got there, I knew we had to do it.
It felt so special that
It was
first
so
time we walked
special.
through. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think for us, like, and again, my team will kill me because I am always the one that's going to lean towards experience over how hard it is. Because for me, I'm like willing to compromise my wellness to make sure that
Your
we pull off an experience. But in this situation, like it worked out to be the best. And again, like it was a really hard property, but the property was also good to us. So then it made
You just don't want to settle. I think that's a great quality.
And I think for me too, I want to advocate for my clients where I want you to also walk away and be like, this is an investment that I'm making and I want to have no regrets about picking the location that I did.
Yeah.
So some of those like scarier things that we had to deal with were things that maybe we didn't share with you in the moment because we're like, you don't need to know that it's taking me so long to get a hold of somebody.
Yeah, I didn't know that even actually until right now.
Yeah. It took me a long time to get a hold of that property. And again, it's also because they don't have like a full, it's amazingly run by the people that own it. So it's like a great property, but it's very private. It's very intimate.
Well,
they only do so many events per year.
And it's also their private home.
Exactly.
And that's the thing also, like there's a level of respect that comes with obviously any sort of venue, but especially if someone lives there.
Yes.
Like that, Cal and I were extra careful. And we
went into it knowing that too. We were like, we need to be on our best behavior.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so funny how every venue tour feels like an interview, like a job interview
exactly.
or like a dating interview in a way.
And again, to be fair, most venues wanted us for sure. So
I think
all
every
venues.
single
yeah,
one.
all venues did.
all
Yeah,
venues.
honestly. So, but again, I didn't want to kill you. I wanted to just lock one in so we were able to start like detailing out the ideas.
Yeah, because even the dress, I remember we were like, well, it's hard to pick the dress if we don't know the vibe of the location.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I know that was pressure moment, but it's like, I mean, we looked all up and down the coast and like we were like ocean venue, but then we don't want to train in the middle of the view. Like there's so many
that's
like
right.
factors.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, there's so many factors that
at the Rosewood Miramar, which is so beautiful. It's like this hotel in Montecito. It's built on the train track. So they're like, so the train does come through
Every like 15
Yeah.
minutes.
and so like you could be in the middle of your ceremony saying your vows and the train comes through.
And I also remember there's no privacy. So
Yeah.
like that was a big thing too, where I'm not like a anyone of note, but I also, if I ever get married, I don't want the person
Strangers.
in the hotel, like the London hotel, that ceremony area in West Hollywood is literally like people on the patio. There was this guy that was on the patio looking down in his ceremony.
In their
once with
boxers and a
in his
robe,
robe.
smoking a cigarette.
Yeah,
Like that's what you
legit,
expect
he
at
was
those.
like straight out of like an Italian movie. Like
And
he was-
also like they're a guest, so they're like
they're
allowed to.
do it.
Yeah.
Which
Do a
is-
full
so that was like a
buyout,
big
which
thing too.
that's
But
crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like we would have searched the world to find it. And I'm so glad that you found that one, which that was you. Again, like I give credit to you because you were so involved in the process more than I think you give yourself credit for. And you curated some of that energy that I think, again, resonated. You knew your friends. You knew what would get everyone excited. And that's why you were able to do that.
Free stuff.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love free stuff?
I mean, literally. And again, I love my hat, my Parsons polo hat. It actually made me start liking snapbacks again because I stopped wearing them for a while.
You
And
look
so-
good in the
and
hat.
now I'm back on the snapbacks.
You look great in the hat.
Yeah, it might be the 25 pounds lost too. Yeah, because I still kind of look like the kid from Up with a hat. So I have to be careful. Be careful.
Okay, guys, I just recently tried a new drink, and it is 100% my new drink for the summer. It's Simply Pop. If you guys haven't heard, the Juice People, yes, Simply just dropped a prebiotic soda, and it is so good.
Simply Pop is the new prebiotic soda made with real fruit juice and no added sugar, which first of all, we love. And the best part, it has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber to support gut health, plus zinc and vitamin C to support immune function.
It's light, it's bubbly, and the flavors are unreal.
No, I feel the exact same way. This one, seriously, it is so good. So good.
And we have to talk about the flavors because, oh my goodness, wow. There's pineapple mango, there's lime, there's strawberry, there's citrus punch, and my personal favorite, fruit punch. If you know me, I am a fruit punch girl through and through. And that one, when you get it nice and ice cold, it is so refreshing and perfect for summer.
Ooh, see, I've had that one, but I feel like lately I've been really obsessed. The pineapple mango one. Me and mangoes lately.
I was gonna say that's so you.
I've been loving it. It's been my new hyperfixation in a way that I'm sure I'll have that with another flavor soon. But the pineapple mango is unreal. Like it's sweet, tangy, refreshing, and it honestly, it just maybe because summer's coming up, it tastes like summer in a can.
The fruit punch gives me that like nostalgic, straight from the juice box vibe, but way better. And when you add that prebiotic fiber to support gut health, it's keeps getting better and better.
Right. And I love, again, there's no added sugar. You're getting all the juicy, fruity flavors from Simply without the sugar crash. It's like Simply took all the flavors we love and made them even better.
So if you guys want to see what the fizz is all about, grab the new soda from the juice people, Simply Pop.
Find Simply Pop in all 5 juicy flavors by visiting us online at cokeurl.com/simplypop. That's cokeurl.com/SIMPLYPOP.
I really do think, and again, I started this sentiment in the beginning and I forgot to finish it. I have to give Cal his flowers because he really, like, so many grooms, I'm sure, show up on the wedding day and are like, wow, this looks awesome, like, and had no part. Like, he was so, I didn't tell you this, but when we were at the design meeting where we were picking the florals and picking the candles and picking the tablescape, he was so heavily involved.
I saw it through my FaceTime.
Yeah.
I saw how vocal he was, and I love that he was active.
Yeah.
But I also have to give him such a shout out because he was so humble and kind through the process, and never did he I feel like he was being needy in any way. And I've had some really needy grooms, and I've also had some amazing grooms that led the planning, which I also love when, grooms are active too. And, I think about the cocktail moment where he was like, oh, I don't want to I don't want to make it more difficult. And I was like, no, we're getting you your float.
Yeah.
And so he went to a Bevmo and we found the type of stout that he wanted, and it worked out perfectly. But
it was so sweet of you though to meet us halfway on everything, and it did really feel collaborative. And I love that I felt so safe with so many things that I was either I don't care about, or I am I have no problem admitting that I have no taste when it comes to florals. I was I don't know. All I know is I don't want these colors. And so then you would show me something. I'd be like, well, I don't like that color. That one's too warm. Let's keep it like this. You'd be like, okay, perfect. And you go back. And then when we showed up, Cal and I keep saying on the day when we kept walking in, it was we knew what was happening, but also so much was holy shit, we're here. Holy shit, we need to be present. Holy shit, look at that 11-foot arch. We didn't know. It was it was fresh for us too.
Yeah, because all you're
also.
seeing is a Canva or
But
a design
seeing it
board.
tangible in person.
Yeah.
Just so
And
good.
walking into the tent, everybody seeing the tent before us, we knew what it was going to look like. I saw the tablescape there. Oh, and at the design meeting, Cal was going to the bathroom and one of the ladies was taking him there. And she's like, I'm so happy you're here. So often it's just the bride and their mom. So it's so nice that you're here and you have input. And Cal left being really proud.
Oh yeah.
So it was really, really sweet.
Yeah, he's I love how supportive he has been. And again, his vows makes, the first look, the vows, just not a dry eye.
I can't even, I watched the vlog this morning just to skim through it, and the vow, I only put a couple little clips in, and I was getting choked up already. Just,
and he looks
watching
hot.
It again. He looks so hot. He designed his own outfit. That was him, and it's Taylor. He did such a good job.
I kept asking too. I kept prying, and I was like, "Let me know when you go, so I
Yes,
can go." And he was
that's right.
and he owned it. He literally did not ask me for a thing.
Oh,
Yeah. So shout out to Cal.
no, he absolutely crushed it. Okay, anything else that happened at the wedding that we're not aware of?
So on the rehearsal, what you weren't aware of was ice showed up in the neighborhood. So we did have to work with the venue team to basically make sure that we close the gate
The ceremony, the dress rehearsal
during
that
the
we did?
rehearsal. Yeah.
When we were
while we were
there?
there.
While you were there, yeah. They were driving around, and so, the team at the property were like, okay, let's get the gate closed.
Oh my god.
Because we also had crew there. We had a bunch of people there. And again, we love to work with a diverse group of vendors, but also majority of the crew are people that are directly impacted by what's happening. And it was a really interesting moment, while I'm scooting around on my motorized scooter on the deck.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm happy that the venue closed the gates and was willing to do that. Thank God.
And it was just the right thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
How is it when you have to make those really quick decisions when there's so much going on? Obviously, you've had years of practice.
Yeah.
When you first get that text or call about something that's happening, what does your body do? Do you just...
I think it's just reactionary at this point, where I very much am a person of feely, vibes. And so even when something is being set up and I can see it's not going in that direction and I feel like it's a little too late to say something, I'm the one that's going to say it because I have to.
Yeah.
Because I know if I don't say it, someone else, if my client sees it, and so for me, there's things that I adjust and stuff. And even with the arch was a risky decision of us doing an 11-foot arch. And at some point there was a conversation.
In what way was it risky?
Well, in the sense that it's a big arch.
Yeah.
It's typically 10, or, and again, like with Cal being tall, for me, the whole point was to have the negative space
Speaking of
in the arch.
optical illusions.
Yeah. Like, yeah. And the whole idea was that like you had said from the beginning that you wanted your ceremony with ocean view.
Yeah.
And so for me, I just kept thinking about that hero photo of you guys at the arch. And I wanted to make sure that there was ocean, not just on the sides, but behind you. And that was like ultimately the decision we made with the 11-foot.
I mean, perfect decision.
I wouldn't have thought of that too, because obviously you see an arch, you're like perfect, but when you add 2 people and dress, and so, like it does block it all. So then you're like something so simple like that, I could see a lot of newer planners not even thinking of.
Well, and then my last wedding was a huppah, and when we got on site and florals had already started building on it, it was too tall. So then at that point, I was like, okay, well, what are we going to do? So I had, and again, these are things that I think make it really hard to be a planner, because we have to be the one to like problem solve and troubleshoot. And that's really what our job is. We are troubleshooters. Like as much as we love to design, we have to
like what could go wrong, what will go wrong.
Exactly.
How do I fix
And
this
to be prepared for it and have like a what if scenario, which is like why I had crutches and scooter and wheelchair and a person to drive me and golf cart.
A backup.
Because I knew, right? So like those are things we're prepared for. But for the huppah, we literally had 4 people lift up each leg and then chop 6 inches off of it.
Is it like a wooden structure?
It's a wooden structure, and I had to get approval because it's a rented structure. The flowers are already starting on it, and those are the things that we do.
Was it too tall just for like aesthetic purposes?
It was
or
just
like
too tall for aesthetics, where I didn't want it to make it feel like they were so short in it, but also in the way that it laid out with the background of the space, and then the way that like the talus fell underneath it was just important that we made that 6-inch adjustment, and it made a difference.
Wow.
It's crazy too, because it's like everything you could do perfect, but if something's slightly off, people will notice that.
1,000%.
Versus if you obviously you want people to compliment things, but your perfect world is like you don't see anything wrong with anything.
1,000%.
You know?
Yeah, and I think like a big thing for us too is while we're managing you guys, right, as like the bridal party, the wedding party, we're also curating the experience for the 100 and something guests. And so we're trying to make that an experience too, where we want every section to feel smooth and flawless.
One of my favorites was walking through the house to get to the backyard.
Really?
That was something that I kind of we've done a lot of shoots at like nice places, and I just assumed the house would be closed. So that was something that I was like, this is a beautiful experience. And I love that you're obviously paying so much for this venue and the property, but you also get to like experience that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that
And
was
then-
something I really liked.
I love that you said that, because when we did the first tour and they showed me that path, for me, that walk out to the view
Beautiful.
was what I knew was going to be like such an amazing next level moment from ceremony. Because ceremony, we're emotional, and now we're starting the actual surprises of like, okay, here we go with this cocktail party that's on this insane pool deck.
Oh my God.
Right?
I mean,
And
we were
that's-
there all day, and it never got old.
And even with the color palette there, that was kind of a risky thing that I was actually surprised that you actually let us play with.
I was gonna say, should I say it, Ollie? The thing about the flowers,
Say it.
I'll say it. I didn't love.
Okay.
I will say I really wanted that navy bar, and
we did a
I got the
custom
navy
color on the
bar.
bar. She
Wait,
picked
now
out
I'm
the
confused
swatch.
where those flowers were.
At the bar, at the cocktail hour, on the side of
We
the
wanted to
pool.
give like a different vignette. We wanted to give it like
I
a different
love
color
that.
palette.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing, gorgeous. And I love blue hydrangeas,
Yeah.
but I was like, I really wanted this wedding to be so different than
What that's
what people expected from me, but also just like, I wanted it to feel like I've grown up. Like the amount of sugalicious things that
Sugalicious.
it's true. Like anybody online that has been following me, like you saw my blue room, you saw my purple room. Like I have unfortunately had to regret so many decisions.
I'm right behind you. I'm right there.
Don't
with
talk
you.
about the things that you were like that. Like I've had to grow up and like learn. Even like my house right now, there's so many things to look around. I'm like, hate that.
I had a juicy tracksuit. Okay, I get it.
Yeah,
I had a juicy tracksuit.
But she's back now.
Yeah.
I will say, sorry to interrupt. I liked that though, because I associate you with like blue hydrangeas, so I felt like that was like a little like Remi
little
kiss.
Remi.
Like a little
Okay.
Remi
Yeah, and
kiss.
somebody that, and I didn't know your history of the blue, but I remember in our design concepts you were against it.
Yeah.
But when we presented you that blue bar,
Yeah.
I loved how you were open to it.
Yeah.
Because for me, I was also just forecasting what people are going to expect and then what they walk into
Yeah.
next, which from the pool deck to the tent,
So
we
different.
gave a full transformation.
And again, I guarantee not one person had that conscious thought of blue hydrant, like, but it made it subconsciously they see it. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. Also, I saw this TikTok, which I'm sure y'all have seen because it's wedding TikTok, but it was like, no wedding will ever be timeless, because even a wedding from 2 centuries ago, we're able now to date it, but then they probably thought it was timeless. It's just, everything will always change. So I think it's beautiful that it's like, it fully represented how you are now, of like entering like, not womanhood, because bitch, you've been a woman, but like,
I'm a woman now.
but like the
I
way
lost
we're
my
always
virginity
like,
that
we're not
night.
real adults. Like, I feel like it's like this new chapter and era for you. You know what I mean?
And again, like, I think you were giving experiences in each section. So I
No,
think that was what we were excited about.
I knew that you and I were perfect for each other in one of our early meetings when you were like, I love a reveal. And I was like, gorgeous, this is going to be a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Like, I also love a reveal. I love
The
to
claw
gag
machine
the
comes
people.
down.
They literally
On a crane,
floats down.
The claw machine comes down on a crane.
It was everything we could have dreamt of, and it was so fun. Like, even Cal and I were laughing. It's been so fun because we, again, having the photos and things to look back on, there's only so much that you can absorb on that
Of
day.
course.
And so I knew what the florals were going to look like because I saw the rendering, but that's the last thing I'm looking at when I'm walking down the aisle. And that was the first time that I really did see the florals. Like, we drove in the morning of,
Oh
but
my
I wasn't
God.
thinking about it. I wasn't even looking. I was trying not to throw up. And then down the aisle, I'm looking at Cal.
Yeah.
That's all I'm seeing. And so I didn't even really get a good look at the arch till I look at the photos.
Yeah.
And Cal and I've been like, that 11-foot arch was damn.
I have a core memory of
most
the
beautiful arch
arch.
I've ever seen in my life. You have a core memory?
Driving up in the van.
Yeah.
I like, that was it's a core memory.
Especially because like we saw it the day before
deck,
without the
yeah.
arch. Oh, yes. And we have to talk about, like, she texted me after and she was like, because she was obviously helping out with like all of these big decisions, like, do we do this? Do we do that? Like running down to the wire. And she was like, every decision that we made was the perfect decision. Like the deck, for instance.
Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely.
My gut was like, do the deck, but obviously, like, I mean, you can never be done. There's always
Yeah.
something you can add. There's always something you can do more or whatever. And like, it felt so perfect. Like the
Yeah.
deck was beautiful. Even the stain choice that you did.
Which
'cause-
was
all Jason.
problem solving.
But-
all Jason.
Yeah, because again, the color that was matched to the image we sent wasn't fully there. And so that took 2 days of Sherman-Williams. Like, thank you to Hayden at the Sherman-Williams in Santa
Hayden.
Barbara. Handsome cutie, but also like color matched it. And of course, the first color swatch that we did was the one that we ended up going with.
It was insane.
And again, that's something that, like, on the day they were building the deck, a normal person would probably be like, well, it's too late. No, not for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'll go and find the right stain
Totally,
for you.
especially when like if the color of the wood clashes with the entire theme of everything.
1,000%.
Like
And again,
those are
like,
things to think about.
There's variants of wood too. So like, as much as you can prepare for a color through a swatch, seeing it in person is so different.
And also one swatch versus a whole giant deck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So us seeing that wood with the grain and then the way that it was like kind of colored and then the other side being too dark, it was like, okay, well, we can't do this.
Yeah.
And so that's just something that we end up doing, you know?
Yeah.
Another core memory of you on your scooter is the rehearsal, you coming up being like, okay, anyone with a dress, just let you know that side of the deck is wet. Do not step on there. That side will be fine. Just letting you know. Okay.
Even like you prepping to have them do the middle first so that it dried by the time we did the rehearsal. Like, there's so many things that you had to be 20 steps ahead
Yeah.
on. That was so impressive to me as a planner. I was like, brain the whole day was being itched in the
Yeah.
most perfect way.
And that comes to your 20 years of experience.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm excited for like whatever this next chapter is of you delegating
Absolutely.
and stuff, because you have so much knowledge that to you is second nature.
Yeah.
That like is game changing.
Well, and again, each opportunity that I get also is a learning lesson. So like, I'm so grateful that I got to experience it with you guys because again, like some of these things that I learned would have been a different experience if you were a terrible person, you know, or
You're like,
if
you get
like,
the ugly wood.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right? I'm like,
up, too late to
6
stain.
foot arch, 6 foot arch.
How tall scout? Okay, 6 foot arch.
Yeah. Half deck.
Yeah.
Half deck.
But in all reality,
Actually, they're about to be here, so paint the middle right now.
that would be really hard if you don't click with clients, but
Yeah.
still have to give your all. And
Well, you've mentioned that you've dropped clients before, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Firing my first client was so traumatic for me because I felt so guilty. Because
Yeah.
I initially, when I started, I thought like, oh, I can't abandon people. But when you're starting to get harassed or they're making you, because again, ultimately, too, becomes a liability for me. If you don't like me and then you continue to not like me or unhappy with me, the last person you want to see is me on your wedding day.
yeah.
And I had one experience where the mother of the bride was so difficult. And, you know, looking back on it now, I was so young, but like, she locked me out of the bridal suite so I couldn't see my bride.
That's
And that was
right.
so hard because I was talking to them through the door.
That's so
and
weird.
I remember feeling so small and thinking like, I never want to feel like this on a day that I produced.
No.
Like, and again, like we are advocating for your budget. We are the ones that are asking for the, we're asking for the price adjustments. We're trying to get you the best of the best. And so when that is then met with like somebody who doesn't trust you, which again, like, maybe I wasn't as great as I was, as I got better, but I still was a good person. I still showed up. I still was very attentive. And I remember feeling in that moment, like, I never want to feel this again.
Yeah.
And so the first couple that I fired 3 months before their wedding, which is scary, but it was a liability thing too, where if I do the wedding, then I'm also opened up to all this liability where they will nitpick and say that everything was my fault from the weather.
And you feel protective over your employees and all the vendors and like your relationships.
Totally. And so then I created a harassment clause on the contract. So basically at any point I can disengage. And again, like I've had couples where I gave the deposit back and I said, this isn't working out, not the vibe. Like, and then again, I've had couples where, we both realized like, oh, I might not be the best fit for you because I am more of a custom, like, we create a custom process together. I work with your flow versus like, if you need somebody who's just reading a checklist, then that's also not me either. And that's something that I think is super important for every person that's getting married that wants to get a planner. Like, make sure you do your homework and also just have casual conversations and candid conversations about like what you actually want versus like feeling like you have to give them an answer that, like is what the right thing to say.
Yeah.
Because it very much is about how we really are vulnerable together in this experience. It's a year-long minimum and we get to know very intimate details about each other. And so, I'm always a big advocate for being honest. And again, if it's not working out, be honest and end it and find the person that does fit, because the last thing you want is to regret it. Because how many times did you see me on that wedding day? I was there all day.
Yeah.
So think about if it wasn't a fit, how disappointing it would be.
I think also like even wedding day aside, like the amount of times that like also I would just go to your office and just like chit chat because I was in the area and I happened to see you on the street. Like we developed a real relationship, which I'm so sad about because like now I don't have anything to talk to you about anymore.
But again, you didn't read the fine print because I move in.
Yes, I know. And that's
fine print of the contract. I actually move in.
And that's actually happening.
Yeah.
But like I am so grateful for the relationship that we've developed because it was something that I wasn't even expecting. And like, we just really hit it off and I'm so grateful. And it just was like such a fun experience. I just can't believe, obviously like things on your end. Is there anything else, did anything else go wrong? Like that you want to express, but besides that,
I don't think so. I think it's just a lot of problem solving on the day. And then just like the fact that it was such a large venue and there was so much going on, but I think, a lot of that stuff is just production stuff.
Yeah. And the trust you have to have with each individual there.
Yeah. And then, again, like our timing, we were able to try to find places to catch up.
Yeah.
That's super important. But that's also a game of like, making sure that you guys don't look at your clock. Like you guys are not looking at a watch.
Okay, I have a question. Because I was freaking out about the timing all day.
Yes.
Because I was not quiet about that. I'd be like, are we late? Are we late? What's happening? Are we late? Are we late? Because even when you told me from the get-go, like, you won't have to worry about time. You don't know
I need you to not care about time. But I knew.
There's no world.
Exactly. That's why, I didn't give you the schedule.
Yeah.
Because I knew if you had the schedule, because
be
early in our career.
Well, unfortunately, I made my own schedule in my brain. So that's
you
why
had
I knew
multiple
we were
schedules.
off.
You had like a content. You had like all the schedules.
Yes. And I will say, like, I guess also the regret that I had, and I know I mentioned the dress thing earlier, but it wasn't even necessarily like having the 3 dresses. I regret putting this was a foresight or something that I feel like you don't know until you do it, but it was how we wanted to create the reveal of the second dress. Didn't actually matter on the day of.
Yeah.
Because Cal and I were like, which it was good because we got to sit. Cal took a full on nap because he was so like overstimulated.
Exactly.
But we initially were going to go see the tent. After this, we did the ceremony, we did the photos. We were going to go down the tent and see it in the ceremony dress. And then I was going to go back up and change and then go to cocktail hour.
Yeah.
And we finished the secondary photos after the ceremony. And I think I looked at Nicole and she's like, okay, so now I was like, I'm going to go sit. I need to go sit in silence for like 20 minutes. I was like, I just need a moment. And I don't think I had necessarily prepped for like also taking into account like the content schedule that I had made myself for me.
Yeah. When we got that content schedule.
Yeah.
we like our eyes rolled back to the
Really?
just because again, like in a normal wedding day, there's already a photo schedule.
Yeah.
So then and again, that's such a unique situation for not every bride.
That's funny.
But it is what was also just so, I gave you so much props because again, like I would have had a full-blown anxiety attack with the amount of stuff that you had to hit.
I did when I saw the list. So I was like, let's go through and highlight the most prioritized ones.
Oh,
because
did you do the color codes?
I had her do that because I was like, I think I just want to make sure you.
That made
the
me feel
worst
so much
thing
better.
ever though is when you're like, fuck, I got these, but I didn't get the one that I wanted, you know, and like
So smart.
she killed that.
Yeah.
I will say I got them all, but shout out to Nairi because she was the one. Like I was so overstimulated. I don't think I knew obviously also like a ceremony is emotional, but I was not prepared to be wrecked in the way that I was. I was not ready for my feet to hurt as much as they did, even though I should have known. Like there's so many things I didn't take into account that I was so overstimulated by, but Nairi kept being like, do you want to finish this? Do you want to finish that? I'd be like, oh my God, thank God. Like, yes. So I got all those done. I wish that I hadn't focused on the reveal of the second dress as much as we had thought that I would care because I didn't, because I was like, oh my God, I want to be outside. I will say I was able to conserve energy because I thought I was going to go. Remember when you asked me?
Oh my God. No, remember when you guys wanted to go till like 6 in the morning?
Yeah, no, I don't think I told you this. He was like, do you want to schedule a car to pick you up at 2? And I was like, well, there's a world where we'll keep going. And he's like, well, keep in mind, you're going to be working from 8 a.m. in the morning. I was like, yeah, okay, then just schedule the car. We can do the car. At 1 a.m., my feet were cramped. I've never had foot cramps as bad as I did. I was out. I laid on that couch at the after party for a full hour. I didn't get up. I had people come to me and talk to me while I laid down fully and
should.
massage my feet. Literally.
Yeah. And the whole time too, like my goal was let's set ourselves up for success because I think initially you guys were like, we'll call an Uber.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. It's Saturday night at like midnight or 2. You want to call an Uber? Good luck.
Yeah.
So then the fact that the car was there, it was able to take your parents
Yes,
home.
yes.
Like those are things that again, like I think just through experience, we're like, hey, it's an investment, but it's an investment that will pay off. Because yes, you save like $100 or $200 by doing an Uber versus a car service. But like, how clutch is it to be able to just be like, oh, I'm ready to go? And
Oh, it was like
we like loaded the pups and it was
the way that they came down in the car, we jumped in the car and we went home.
Yeah.
And it was honestly, it just like everything was so perfect. Even like you from the get-go saying you're going to work. Like, sorry, love you.
Yeah.
And I will make it as easy as I can for you. You're still going to work.
It's programming. Yeah.
It
it's
really,
work.
I think, set me up for success. I think had I not known how stressed I was going to be and overwhelmed, on top, like I went into it knowing, well, he said that I'm going to work, so I'm going to be working. Saved me, I think,
that's so
truly,
good.
because there were so many things where I was like, oh my God, I need a minute. I just like need a minute. Like this is going way too fast. I just need a minute.
And that's all you needed to say for us to actually give you that minute and pause because, and that's why I'm so happy that we connected. And that's what I think every bride, groom, like anyone that's getting married, you need to be able to communicate your needs because also if you don't, no one else will know.
Yeah.
So as much as we are like professionals, you need to tell us, like you need to say, hey, I'm not happy. I'm feeling disconnected. I'm not feeling like I'm getting what I need because that's a cue for us to actually do better. And so we also are learning you know what I mean? And so for me, like in those moments when you were saying that, I'm like so happy because it was like an opportunity for us to actually give you what you needed in the moment versus if we powered through, how would you feel about it 3 weeks later?
Yeah. I don't think I would have. I think that honestly, I would have forgotten even more than I already did.
Yeah.
Like there's so much that I was there for. I told Tommy, I was like, I only danced for 2 songs. Tommy was like, you're on the dance floor the entire
I was
night.
gonna say you were.
I had no idea. Jason, I blacked out. Like I don't understand what was going through my brain.
You guys were walking. I mean, we had to reset your dinner.
Yes,
So we had to
I
bring
know.
you 2 new plates. Which also
I would have eaten a cold steak. It would have been good either way.
I'm very hostile about my couples eating because I cannot stand when people spend money on food and they don't even try their food. Good food too. And the thing that I typically do is I'm usually able to touch your shoulder, but unfortunately, because my scooter, I cannot get behind you guys. So I had to keep wheeling in front of you, you know.
Okay, I tried to, but
yeah,
I get it. When you feel nauseous, you just can't.
And so she was like up and about and you guys were like being the perfect host and talking to everybody. And so we were just like, okay, let's just get you a new plate.
I got back. I was like, I missed my dinner. And then all of a sudden they come over and they're like, oh my God, your dinner got cold. We have another one coming. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
At one point I could not eat the entire day because and it's so funny because I feel like we always hear, and so Cal and I made a conscious effort to like remember to eat. Like brides and grooms don't eat. So then you like feel
Did you eat in the morning at all?
I did. I ate breakfast.
God.
I was totally fine. So like
Yeah.
that sustained me the entire day. As
Like
much as I
the
could.
catering breakfast?
Amazing, by the way.
I had some catering and I also had a
good.
breakfast sandwich. So
Yeah.
I ate a good amount before.
Great.
And that's before like the nerves really, really hit. Because once I got in the van is
Yeah.
when all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw up the whole day.
Yeah.
But and it wasn't like, I didn't eat for lack of not being offered food. I had food at everywhere that I sat, and you guys made a conscious effort to give us I had a full platter sitting there in front of me with every little baby appetizer.
Yeah.
I ate the piece of chicken. I was like, this is all I can stomach
Yeah.
right now. Like, that's the only thing that sounds good. But it was so funny. Even at one point on the dance floor, I had like a drink and I had a Cruise Cosmo, which what the hell was in those? That was simply
What the hell?
I was told that we can't just do vodka, water, and Crystal Light. So there needs to, because I was like, that's my drink choice. Like, that's what I like. So they were like, okay, well then we have to put some other stuff in it. You might as well have just given me a vodka shot, because what the hell was in that?
Great. I love
It was
those.
a Cosmo. It was a classic
It
Cosmo.
was, I mean, it was delicious, but maybe I did black out from alcohol because I don't remember having that in my hand, and for some reason it's in every photo. Every photo I have that I'm like, I don't remember drinking that.
I wasn't dancing and I wasn't drinking.
Yeah, I don't understand what,
There's a photo of you
happened.
raging.
No, every video is me with that Cruise Cosmo splashing around on people. And at one point I look at Cal and I go, I need bread. And he's like, well, they took the bread away. And I look, and Leanne's there from the catering company, who was amazing. And she came to the bridal shower. She's the one there. I look at her and I go, Leanne, I don't mean to be annoying. Is there any of that extra honey brioche? I was like, is there anything? And she goes, oh, we took the bread away. I said, don't worry. I turn around. 10 minutes later, she's back. She's got a whole container of them for me. So sweet. It was amazing. But it was just like such a blur. It was so fun. I'm so happy to have, I've been reliving it over and over. I literally got another edit from the videographer today, like over and over and over again. Everyone has just been providing like the best content, and it's been so fun to just like relive over and over again.
I'm so glad. I mean, again, it's a highlight of my life that I'm never going to forget, just from everything. But again, I will never forget just the kindness of you, the extension of you, even your wedding party. Like, everybody has been so kind and gracious, and everyone came up asking me how I was. And it was just such a different experience than I thought it would be in the moment. So it just feels, I'm so humbled by the whole experience. So I'm just so grateful. And I'm so grateful to be here and to be able to talk to you guys about it.
Oh my God. Well, like I was so genuinely proud of, because you've told me in passing now that like the guests were so kind to everybody, all vendors, all staff.
Incredible.
And like, that's all I could ask for, truly, is like people just being polite and kind. And one thing that we keep talking about is like the tangible feeling of love in the room, which I'm sure you felt so many times because you've done so many weddings, but like, and I kept being
But
like,
it doesn't
I know
always feel like that.
I was like, I know I'm biased because like it's my wedding, but I was like, I've never felt like a room with so much love before. Like it felt like it was radiating in the air.
It really was. And again, like, there was notable people in the room too, which again, like, you don't always get that kind of blend where there's people that are of all different, notorieties, and like, it just, everybody was so excited to be there. Everyone just had so much love to give, and everyone was just so excited and kind. And I think that's such a big reflection of you two. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen all the time. So shout out to y'all.
Yay. Thank you.
We're so honored that you're here.
Thank you.
We do have one more thing we have to do, because this is the last wedding episode, and we need to do the quick fire of the superlatives, because we need to go through what we said.
Okay.
And so on a recent episode, we answered some questions before the wedding of like, who's going to get the drunkest, who's going to who's going to cry the most, who's going to give the best speech. And now that we've lived it, we have to go back and answer them.
Okay,
we have a fan question from Twee. She did
this
ask,
just in.
which we also need to like say, Twee was incredible.
Oh my
good.
God.
No,
Incredible.
I again blacked out the entire set of her singing. Listening back, I'm like, damn, she sounded amazing.
Good. Everyone stream Twee.
Everyone listened to Twee. Also, you've expressed to me how incredible she was behind the scenes.
Oh my
of
God,
everything.
so nice. The moment that you connected us, which also I was like, oh my God, I just got connected to Twee. So kind, so nice,
perfect.
so amazing. They were just, and again, all she cared about was making sure that you got what you wanted. And it was just so funny, because then you'd be like, no, I just want to make sure Twee gets what she needs.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, well, what if you guys do something? What if you say something?
Someone make a fucking
What if you
decision.
ask for something? Yeah.
But Twee did ask, what was the most, and be honest, what was the most bridezilla thing that I did throughout the whole process? And you can be honest, and my feelings won't be hurt.
The truth is, there was not really anything bridezilla that you did.
Be
because
honest, but what was
I
the
really
most?
don't think so. I think, no, honestly, there really isn't.
I know. I feel like just you being stressed.
And maybe you were shielding me for some of it, But you were not, I can't even call you a bridezilla because there was never anything that at any moment you were like, I demand it. I need, like, there were things that you kept saying you wanted, but you also were very much like I want it, but do I need it? And even with the decking thing too, like you handled that in a way where it was like, because again, there's things that I will share with you and I'm like, hey, I know that we maybe decided this way, but I think we should actually do this. And you were so receptive to it. Yeah. There was nothing you were bridezilla about. Maybe the only that you were like steadfast about was your programming and making sure that you had everything that you had said that you wanted in terms of the activations and the activities.
Yeah.
And again, I thought at one point I was like, you were overflowing with ideas. Like there was so many things you want to do. But again, for me, I was just excited that we're like, okay, well then how do we figure it out?
Yeah.
How do we make sure we fit that all into this like amazing property? And again, we had set ourselves up by picking a property that gave us multiple outlets.
And I will admit, I think maybe I did a little too much. And I will admit, and he did let me know, and this is a good note for anybody listening that's planning a wedding. Jason at one point was like, you just want to make sure you're not overwhelming your guests with too many things. Like for instance,
at one time.
Yes, we did FET phone, which is like voicemail you can like leave to the bride and the groom.
The audio guest book.
I was sad I didn't see it.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't do it because I mean there was a physical guest book, there was the camera being passed around.
Yeah, when we had
we
had it at the cocktail hour in a separate colored linen right at the front.
Yeah,
and then we brought it again. We were gonna do it at the reception, but we couldn't. We were worried that we wouldn't be able to hear it.
Yeah.
So then we took it down the after party. But again, like luckily you have the phone, so she can leave you one now.
Yeah.
But it is something where again there was just so much, and again you picked a property where every corner of the estate is so pretty. So you're just admiring everything.
Which is good though, because that means people aren't looking around like, what can we do? Because we're bored. It's like actually a good thing that they missed some things because that they were so enjoying themselves, which is I guess other way to look at it.
Yeah.
I do think one guest book would have been fine. Looking back on that, I didn't take that into consideration, but I do love now that I have voicemails. I have a physical guest book. I can't wait to get that dad cam footage back. Like I am happy about that. But looking back, I was like, okay, he was right.
Yeah, and again, like we fed the guests. We fed with everything from soulmates to King Tung Hulu, which that was my first Tung Hulu I've ever had.
Which one did you get?
I got the grape.
So
it was so incredible.
Oh, and I need to give you a shout out, which I just like always trusted you because again, I just feel like we really see each other as like very extra people. But like I knew what I wanted the night market to look like. But also, I never sent you a photo of anything. The only thing I did send was the photo of like, I saw a TikTok of someone doing merch and I was like, oh my God, this is cute. Yeah. But like, I was like, whatever I show up to, I'm just happy with also. And the way that we pulled in and it was better than my wildest dreams,
that
actually.
makes me so happy.
No, like the neon signs, the like actual tents themselves, the way that Soulmate set everything up, the way that King Tong Hulu set everything up, the dominoes, the habit truck, like everything, the merch booth, like I was like, holy shit, if I could have imagined. I remember the first meeting we sat, I think it was when I was at your office in the red sweater. And I cut this because like we weren't sure what was going to happen. But I remember I think that's where I had just come up with the idea. I was like, wait a second, Korean night market.
Yes.
And then you were like, okay, well tell me everything you could want. And then we'll just cut back from there. And the way that I got everything that I wanted.
Yeah, we didn't do any cutting back.
Yeah. The drinks, the fridge, I was like, imagine the bag drinks. And then I show up, bag drinks there.
Yes. And again, I can't take all the credit. Jamie was a leader in that because she's actually been to Korea recently. Like I haven't been to Korea since I was 3. So I haven't experienced some of those things. And then I've also got to experience it via your trip. That was just amazing. But I mean, literally, I think those are the things that get us excited because that's a new experience for us to create. Yeah. But transparently, it was hard because a lot of the stuff is we don't have a vendor for it. So we're actually the one curating it. So those are things that I didn't fully think through.
And you don't want just any vendor. You want someone who does it good.
Yeah, so
it's like, how do we...
And even the drinks, like, Jamie went to like 3 different Korean spots to find all the drinks that we knew that we should show. And like, those are the things that I think,
Did you just buy those? Or was it a vendor
we just did it retail.
Yeah,
we will go the extra mile. We will do whatever we need to do because it was important.
That was a rental.
You're going to die when he tells me this. So I really, more than anything, I really wanted the Tong Hulu because that means the most to you and I. The way that Cal could not have cared less. It means the most to Alisha and I. There's this clip of me and her on the dance floor and we're at the after party. It's just her and I there. Cal's there too. Cal's there too.
It was like your second dance as a couple.
She's just filming. She's filming and I go... did you see the Tong Hulu? And she goes, what? I said, Tong Hulu. And she goes, what? I said, let's go. And that's exactly how I said it because I was just for us two. But I was like, that's the one. No, we didn't.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
I had some privately. I assume you had some
I did have
privately.
some, yeah.
That's all that I cared about. But I really wanted Tong Hulu. You were in the hospital, and I was like, well, I'm not going to bother him to get me this stupid candied fruit that I'm demanding, so I will handle this myself. So I was like, Jason, do I have clearance to like figure this out? And you were like, go ahead. So I was like, I've heard of this place called King Tong Hulu. I found them on TikTok. So I messaged them and I was like, hi, is there any way? And he was so great. Turns out that you literally know him mutually.
We have like a deep connection from like our high school years.
Insane. But what's so funny is I was talking to Jason about this recently, and please tell us what you and Jamie were going to do if the Tong Hulu didn't work out.
Oh my God.
I would have been right there with you.
I mean, Jamie would have killed me, and my team will always kill me because I always come up with some crazy shit. But it would have been us with like burners, like doing fucking spinning sugar in the back. Like we would have burned ourselves with dirty. Because again, like for us, we're like, if we can't get the Tong Hulu guy, how are we going to make Tong Hulu?
Oh, I know you watched his tutorial.
Yeah,
Probably
so literally
her tutorial,
we would have been
'cause
dipping.
that
We
one
would have
never
been
went up.
dipping and it would have been
It's
different.
harder than
It
you
would have been.
think.
It would have been like a dark
It
sugar.
actually, because it's like
I
tempering.
know how
yeah,
hard
it's
it is.
hard. It's
I
hard.
know how hard it is. Sugar is
It's
a
dangerous.
scary, dangerous
dangerous,
thing.
yeah.
And so that was like our fear too. We were like,
You're like, I can't go back to the
yes,
hospital.
but thank God Jamie connected with him, had a phone call. Like, and again, this is where my team, I can't take that credit because that's when I was in the hospital. She was able to like get that fine tuned.
Okay, guys, I need to put you onto something that's been making my life so much easier. Taylor Farms chopped salad kits. If you listen to Pretty Basic, you know how much we love them here. I literally just picked up the dill pickle crunch salad, and I think I'm gonna make that for lunch because it sounds so delicious. And I've been on a crazy pickle kick, but these salads are seriously a game changer. They deliver the perfect, freshest, best tasting salads to eat at home or on the go. These kits are perfectly portioned. It's everything that you need and nothing that you don't. Right now, I'm obsessed with the Everything Chopped salad kit. It's packed with romaine, shredded broccoli. I love broccoli in a salad. Red and Savoy cabbage, green onions, and these Everything Bagel seasoned cheese crisps. Yes, you heard that right. It's so good. Also, there's like a creamy Everything ranch dressing. If you've watched the vlogs, you know how I feel about everything seasoning on everything. It's so delicious. It's like the perfect mix of textures and flavors that feels like a total treat. Plus, it's ready to go right out of the bag so I can throw it together in no time. Also, you can totally make it your own. I love to add rotisserie chicken to my salad. You can add grilled chicken, shrimp, tofu, extra veggies, or, your own croutons, whatever. The best part is all the toppings and the dressings are packed separately, so you can use as little or as much as you want. I like all of it, and it just tastes so good, and you can really tailor your taste. Also, guys, there's something for everyone. As I said, there's the creamy dill pickle, Asiago kale, Mexican-style street corn, pizzeria crunch, maple bacon bourbon. The list goes on. They're so delicious, and they have these like little mini chopped salad kits that are perfect if you're hungry, but not too hungry, or if you're on the go. Bring it to the office, bring it to school, bring it anywhere. It's really, really easy and so delicious. Head to your local grocery store and grab a Taylor Farms chopped salad kit. Trust me, you're going to love it. It's the perfect way to enjoy a fresh and flavorful meal in just minutes.
Before we wrap this, we really do want to do, we meant to do it last episode and completely forgot, but we did superlatives of who we thought was going to be the drunkest and all this stuff. So we're going to go through and see who we answered and see if we were correct. So we want to, if you have like opinions, please say.
Please put them in.
I'll give.
Okay, first question was, who's going to cry first during the ceremony? And will it be a cute little tear or full-on snot sobbing? We did say Cal, and I believe I can confirm it was Cal.
Concur.
And
Agree.
it was it wasn't a snot sobbing, but it was a lockjaw.
It was a
overwhelmed.
passionate, like deep.
Someone died.
Yeah, like it was deep. It was so
agree.
good. It was
I
so
agree.
sweet.
Okay, who's going to be the drunkest, and will they remember the cake cutting? We said Zane. He'll 100% remember the cake. Apparently, Zane didn't even eat cake. Who got the drunkest?
I think Zayn the night before.
Did you see that? Did you see the TikTok where he was supposed to be low key? And you want to know the craziest thing? She commented back to me because I commented on the TikTok where he was dancing in a cage at a small bar in Santa Barbara. I commented back. I said, "Oh my God, not him doing this when he was supposed to be low key in Santa Barbara." She goes, "Oh my God, by the way, he left his gift bag with the date and all the info on there." And she goes, "And I ate the cookie, but don't worry, girl, I kept your secret."
I am obsessed with her.
I am too, and that's
Iconic.
a queen,
Shout
and
out.
that's a girl's girl.
She
That's a
earned that gift
girl's
bag.
girl.
Zayn the night before is a really good note. Who got the drunkest? Probably.
No one was like,
Nobody was messy.
Oh, I won't name them. I had one friend who did throw up in the bathroom.
oh, I didn't know that. I was thinking the person who lost their clutch that I had the whole night.
Oh, yes. My queen.
Well,
Iconic.
typically
Two
we have to
queens.
deal with like maintenance and clean. Like
Yeah.
again, shout out to your guests. There wasn't anyone too
Yeah.
sloppy.
Oh, she's cute about it.
Yeah.
She's cute about it, but she had to go home. And I said, girl, I love you. I understand. Okay, who's going to be the most stressed the morning of? Remi. Absolutely. That was correct. Or maybe Jason.
Like, it could be equal, neck and neck.
It was 50-50. Who's most likely to have a surprise moment planned? Remi. That was true.
True.
And I said that knowing that I did.
True. I did have the neon surprise.
You did. You did.
Every time I showed you the diagram too, I had to keep like hiding the neon.
Yeah, the way that I didn't even see. I had no idea. It was such a good surprise. And I love that I got it on camera too. It's me shrieking. Who's most likely to go MIA for just a sec and miss something important? Bathroom cry, smoke break, emotional breakdown, romantic endeavors, the gays. And
That is absolutely correct.
that was absolutely correct.
Tenfold.
We have things to tell you after. Who's going to dance the hardest? Zayn or Murph, it looks like we said. I would say my friend Franna. Did you see the
Franna
little...
and Mike.
Did
Yes,
you see the
yes.
couple? That was pretty crazy. That was really crazy.
I forgot about them when we were thinking of people.
I did too. They were very iconic. A lot of people thought that Franna was Lana throughout the night.
Franna.
Yep, that was iconic.
That makes sense.
We said who's catching the bouquet, who's fighting for it, and honestly, who's running from it? Alisha, because Remi's gonna throw it to her. Alisha did catch the bouquet.
It fell in front of me, and that was
There's some chatter.
There's
There
some
is
chatter.
Yeah.
I
And
like that.
It's funny though because every angle, like it looks way more dramatic than it was.
Snatched.
Can I no? Can I be honest?
Yes.
It looked classy. It looked like
Oh, it's there.
it's
Yeah,
there.
Thank and I
God.
agree.
Because
This is why I like
I've
you.
seen some fighting, some like clawing, some aggressiveness. Like for the bouquet, it looked like there was one person that put in some effort. Shout
And
out to her.
that is my queen, and I love
She
her.
put in the effort, but then when it fell to the ground,
And that's so my personality because I kind of even let people
It
get in
was-
front of me. I'm like,
no,
I'm not that one to be
it-
like pushing
it was
elbows,
so
but I was
right.
like, well, if
was-
it's there.
it was
and then you
meant to
picked
find
up
her.
and you did this cute little moment.
Yes.
And I
It
have
was-
to say, I don't think I've moved so. I was like I had the thought, I'm going for it, and then boom,
It looked slow though. It looked like, well, okay, if it's there, I guess I'll pick
perfect.
it up.
Yeah.
Because I felt me go crazy.
No, I
Yeah.
honestly also, and my queen, who I do love her so much. She is so sweet. My poor girl. I mean, first off, life of the party. I love her. I won't give her a name just because she's not a social media person, but I love her so much. Truly, like we are friends. And she was just so funny about the whole thing. And like later on in the night, she kept those flowers the whole night, and she is wanting her ring. And we've talked about that before. So she had the flower the whole night, and she dropped the flower at one point, and I like looked at her and I like picked it up and I handed it to her, and she goes, throw it at me, and okay. And then she gave it back and I tossed it. So she also got her
She also
toss
caught
as
it.
well. So don't you worry. Most likely to be mistaken for a wedding planner, we said Tommy.
Cute.
I think he did a good job.
Oh, Tommy.
Least likely to be on time, but always looks amazing. We said Ollie. I would say probably Ollie.
Looked amazing.
Ollie looked amazing, and he
Amazing. And the
flower throws.
The applause.
was the flower throws.
So good.
Beautiful. Most likely to have hooked up with another guest. It looks as though we didn't answer that. A hookup did happen, I heard.
I've been wanting to be on that list forever. It
could have been you.
18 years, not once.
It could have been you. It could have been you. We should have put you. Okay.
Well, maybe if you attend a wedding that you're not working.
I don't think I've attended a wedding. And I mean, I rarely attend weddings.
Yeah,
I'm usually working
so-
it.
Yeah. And then we'll put you.
Always
Yeah,
a
okay.
bridesmaid, never a bride.
Yeah, 27 dresses. I get it.
Okay, last but not least, most likely to say I object as a joke. We said no one because our friends wouldn't do that. I did hear that there were jokes amongst Cal's groomsmen to do it.
Oh, I didn't think about them.
But we didn't offer it, and also I know they wouldn't have
Yeah,
actually done
honestly,
it.
so
They were
glad.
I
just,
think
they were
the
just
real
jokes.
answer was Momo.
Momo.
Because we think she thought she was the bride walking down the aisle, and she was so pissed when she turned around and saw Remi following.
We had Pamper. We had our dog sitter on standby on the side.
Shout out to Mary.
Ready to make sure that they were
Ready and
Boom.
good.
clean grab.
I mean, I just have to say, first off, that choreography was beautiful and perfect, but also like shout out to the dogs and
Oh.
shout out to Holden for all being so well behaved. I have not been to a wedding where a toddler has sat through a whole ceremony and not said a peep.
Oh, I had to talk with Holden.
You're like, I made sure he
listen,
wouldn't.
Holden, you're not going to ruin this for me.
And then you back up, beep.
I know. That's
So
right.
he's just staring at you like,
Yeah.
He did such a good job.
He was
Not a peep.
so precious.
I didn't even realize he was able to stay for the whole ceremony because
He
we
was
did have
so
an exit plan for
precious.
Holden as well
So
in case
cute.
he did break out in a cry because he's a toddler and that's okay. But like handled it like a champ.
Yeah.
his little
Insane.
kisses going down. Was so
I can't.
So cute.
Oh my God.
Overall, I'm really sad because I do feel like this finally officially like concludes the whole wedding journey. But thank you for changing my life. Thank you for making all my dreams come true. Thank you for
you.
making it such a fun process. And like, I can't thank you enough for everything and for your friendship.
Well, thank you. And I can't wait to create more memories together.
I can't wait to hang out.
I know. Do you want to go to Korean barbecue with us?
Oh my God, I would love nothing
Yes.
more.
Perfect. Ollie and Alisha can come.
I love it.
I love it. Wow, we're so glad you're okay. Thank you
you.
guys so much for listening. Shout out to anyone in the medical industry because holy
Thank
fuck.
you. And all the
Shout out
hot
to the UCLA doctors.
Yeah.
Shout out
Hot
to
doctors.
the chocolate cake at the UCLA hospital.
Yes.
And please shout out all of your socials so everyone can follow you.
Jason roars like a lion. ROARS. Leo textbook. That's it.
Love it. Thanks
Yeah.
for listening, guys. We love you. Follow Jason. And if you are having a wedding or an event, check out the Refine Company because they are actually insane. And we will catch you guys next week. Love you. Bye.
Mwah.